We got our Rose City people in the crib tonight.
Where you at? You gotta. You can't just wave. You gotta make noise.
A polite wave. I like it. I thought you're a Rose City fan. Yes.
Wait.
For the time being. Okay. For the time being, we have a Rose City fan politely waving across the track. This is our championship, Bonita Cactus Cup 2025. Rose City Axles of Annihilation versus Santa Cruz Derby Grom's Legacy.
Man, we have seen some amazing roller derby here this weekend. It's been like the highs, the lows, the middles. It's been amazing. Thanks everybody who has joined us in person and on Twitch. I am Loquita Bonita, joined by...
Jumping Spider. I do not have a jumping spider. I never did answer that question in the chat.
And our producer is the ever amazing Cakes, coming in hot with all the stats. Cakes has her own fan club. Thanks for being here for Cakes. So we're gonna go ahead and get it rocking and rolling with the roster. Spider, why don't you kick us off?
First, for the Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation. The captain for this game, 777 Rosemary's Baby. Number 07, Jackpot. 139, Katie Postma. 22, Habanero Romero. Number 234, Ice Hole. Number 29, Darko. 31, Kid Vicious. 316, Evan Helical. 343, Trinity. 39, A. Gaffney. 48, Brutes. 5, American Gangster. Number 7, Kissassin. Number 70, Freddie Her Fury. And number 98 is Coda.
And skating in the white jerseys for Santa Cruz Derby Grom's Legacy, 01 Smash Ketchum, 066 Alice in Thunderland, 101 BZ, 105 Dolly Darko, 120 Tinker Hell, number 17 Cinnamon, 1958 Speed Demon, 221 Yeti or Not, Here I Come. Number 24, Beans. 376, Crumb Bomb. Number 4, Mad for Gravy. 62, Tryon. 626, Maddie Masochist. Number 7, Thunder Breeze. 975, Ragin'. And our officials core, Velma Deckley, Otter Mayhem, Kit Ruff, Rex Blocker, Dak in the Box, 9 Inch Wheels, Nerdy Little Secret, Tombo number 5, Rita Slayworth, Adam Splitter, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, PH Demon, Bacon the Question, Dr. Math, Jams Joyce, Sydney Vicious, and Toxic Narcotic. And wow, seconds to go before that first whistle blows.
It's about to be on, fans. The bleachers are full. Hope your cups are full as well, because it's time for our championship game.
Whoop, whoop. And there it is. That whistle from Jam Ref Kit Ruff indicates we have begun this game. Our jammers for the first jam are for Legacy, Alice in Thunderland, Jackpot wearing that star for the Axles of Annihilation. Both teams' blockers just shutting it down here in the first turns. Jackpot knocked to the inside, recycled all the way back to the Sublime Jam line. Alice in Thunderland pushing forward. Almost out, but one hand down means still in.
And there's the force out. Good hard work by Rose City. Kid Vicious finishing that block.
All right, we are a full minute into this jam and just got lead. If that's any indication of what we're gonna see for the rest of the game, it is gonna be a banger.
Beans coordinating the defense up front. Kid Vicious once again providing offense. Jackpot almost all the way through. Has a couple of blockers to slip past and will do so. 4 points for Jackpot and Rose City.
Alice has taken off the helmet cover, so considering the pass or the stash, we shall see as Jackpot is making a second scoring pass.
Forearm penalty here on the pivot Brute for Rose City. So a second blocker lost to the penalty box, and now a third heading to the Night Owl penalty box as Alice in Thunderland now through. might have an opportunity here. About 10 seconds left. Alice fakes the move inside. Jackpot was ready, and then Alice finds the outside line wide open for 4 points. Santa Cruz defense dug in tightly to close it out. 4 points on the last pass for Jackpot. Santa Cruz does get 4 of their own. 8-4 our score after 1.
Some early penalty challenges there for Axles of Annihilation, getting 3 right away in jam number 1. It looks like 2 are still in that Night Owl penalty box as we start jam number 2, 1 being the pivot. Speed Demon with the star for Legacy, Trinity for Axles, and Speed Demon living up to that name, getting out of the pack in 5 seconds.
There go those checkered flags for the Groms fans. Speed Demon, big time play last night, trying to do so again here as the pack slows up and compresses into the first turn. The captain raging with the block to force Trinity out of bounds. Trinity stashing that star at the moment. Rose City digging their heels in here. It's a failure to reform as the pack does split just a bit. There's 4 points for Speed Demon. Pack still slow here. Speed trying to go over the top, can't get there.
We do have a tie score at the moment. See how long that lasts with Speed Demon rolling through for more points.
Three points on the no-earned pass for that final blocker.
And that takes the score up to 11. We have a lead change. Lead change. Drink them if you got them.
One more point for Groms, that final pass. They're checking that out just to be certain. It looks like only 4 on the last pass, no extra point. 8 points, and Santa Cruz takes their first lead of the game. As we come into jam number 3, trying for Santa Cruz, Evangelical number 3-1-6 for Rose City. Eve has some space on the outside. One blocker comes up to meet her, but can't quite beat her. Evangelical lead, jammer 4, the Axles of Annihilation.
Trying, looking to find some space there on the outside, but just getting shut down by the Axles blocking core there, that super strong tripod.
A call on red 316, that's purple 316. I think I misheard the official there. But that'll be our first jammer penalty of the game. Power jam opportunity for Santa Cruz.
And Tryon doesn't even have to try, gets through that pack with little resistance for going up for Legacy. And again, another quick 4. So Axel's gonna have to do a little bit more communicating there, sticking together. There we go, nice stop there.
Power jam comes to a close. Evangelical back on the track. The Night Owl penalty box is bereft of skaters as they slow down into the far straightaway. Santa Cruz defense giving just a bit of ground, but pack staying well within 20 feet, both at the top and the bottom. Tryon tries the little jump cut inside, but that is shut down by Rose City. And the jammers now finding their work cut out for them as we are under 20 seconds to play in the jam. Evangelical slips through for 4 points. First 4 points of the jam for Rose City.
And 4 more going up for Legacy. Oofta. That was a big 12-point jam for Tryon and Legacy. Score now 12-24. Getting ready for jam number 4. Everybody at the Sublime Jam line, celebrating 10 years of success in Arizona. Sublime is your locally owned and operated cannabis brand. Whistle blows. Kassassin with the star for Axles. BZ for Legacy, and BZ out quickly, does have lead.
Kassassin, you see, coming in with speed, hunting. A quick head and shoulder fake, dips down to the outside, says whoop, and gets forward.
Yeah, that's the thing with these Legacy skaters. They get low. The jammers can go under. Not just around, but under.
There was a cut track called there on Kassassin, sorry, BZ.
And that means we have a power jam. Power jam.
Power jam opportunity, Rose City. Rosemary's Baby trying to clear space, but Mad for Gravy, nope. Thunder Breeze rubbed off that hit. Now we will have a stoppage in play here early on. 28-12 is our score. Santa Cruz leads Rose City with 30-12. Return after our injury timeout right to the start of play, Benita.
Yeah, Jackpot with the star for Axles, BZ for Legacy. Jackpot knocked to the inside, coming back around. BZ out of the penalty box, on the track, and through for lead so very quickly. And back already, making that scoring pass. Knocked to the outside, but right back on the track. Jackpot has removed the helmet cover and pushing forward on the Santa Cruz tripod. Well, it was a quad, but one skater going to the penalty box. Pack getting very spread out. And BZ is through for 4. We have had a successful star pass. Brute now jamming for the Axles of Annihilation.
Two points on the final pass for BZ. Santa Cruz tripling up on Rose City here. They lead 36-12.
One skater in the Night Owl penalty box. However, she's standing, so won't be long till Cinnarin gets back on the track. Whistle blows. Maddie Massacus wearing that star for Legacy. Trinity for Axles. Maddie pushing forward. Man, pack really starting to get spread out.
Darko staying effortlessly low. And finally, after some hard work, Maddie Masochist gets lead.
Trinity out of the pack, so pressure on. Man, big hit there by Rosemary's Baby there right at the end of the jam.
A hard shot at the shoulder line, took the jammer down, called off the jam. But Santa Cruz on a good run here. They've been able to extend their lead each of the last 3 jams without allowing any points against.
Evangelica wearing that star, going to see what she can do about that here in jam number 7. Allison Thunderland jamming for Legacy. Eve, oh man, Eve was almost out of the pack but got a cut track call setting up this power jam. Power jam.
Second cut track for Evangelical, and that's a big time loss for Rose City. That's a jammer that they want to utilize to be very good on the plus minus. So power jam opportunities, you said, Benita, here for Santa Cruz. And they have the pack advantage as well, 4 blockers to 3.
Yeah, and yesterday during the Rose game against Boston, Evangelical also had some penalty struggles. So hopefully early on here, she can contain that, because as you said, she can make a huge impact for this team. Alice pushing there at the top of the pack. Evangelical now back on the track. Gaffney also returned from the Night Owl penalty box, looking to break things up. Oh.
Gaffney came in, went right back out.
Man, sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah, especially coming in when you see your jammer stuck and you want to provide some hard offense. This has been a weekend where forearms have been called very closely by the officials. And Gaffney got that one, trying to knife in between the tripod.
Yeah, officials really looking for those penalties, those actions that do impact gameplay, and then call that penalty. So 4 points there right at the end for Legacy.
See if Rose City can try and tighten things up here. Speed Demon brushes off a block, does the small truck and trailer to the inside, and that's lead jammer once again to Santa Cruz. Katie Postma spilled to the inside, so she will have to recycle. There's a big hook there. Arms akimbo going between jammer and blocker. They extricate themselves. Now Speed Demon using the shoulders. Keeping the hands high. Say yeah, says Speed Demon.
Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care.
You know, and that's true. But I also think she cares a lot.
I do think she cares a lot. And there we go. Katie Postma is now out of the pack.
Speed Demon going to call off the jam. That's another 3 points. And that 12 has been up there for a while for Rose City.
Listen, y'all, if you have not seen Legacy play, you're in for it. I mean, they are putting everyone in the Derby world on notice at every tournament they go to. This is a group of skaters that have known each other for a really long time and started as juniors. And I love it. I love to see just the growth of the sport.
It's a team like that, I mean, that's so important, because not only do they have experience, but they've played together so long, and it's only time and time along with experience that builds that kind of chemistry. So you can reasonably expect everybody to know where each other are at any point in time during the jam, during the game. And right there you see it, another successful lead for Tryon and Santa Cruz.
Right, when you have that level of just knowledge and experience with each other, the communication is intuitive.
A wash on that last jam, no points for either side. First time in our game we've had a wash. Break out your gain and your fabuloso. and your quarters. Hopefully you don't have to use quarters. Hopefully you've got in-house washer dryer. That's the sign of making it in today's America. In-house washer dryer.
That's so funny. My washer dryer is on the outside of my house.
Oh, see, that feels like an Arizona thing, though. That feels like a different.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's true. It's not a big deal here because we have good weather most of the time, right?
Let me see an outdoor washer dryer in Chicago. Let me see that.
Yeah, no, we don't get freezing here, so at least not in the part of the state I live in. BZ with the star for Legacy, Trinity for Axles of Annihilation. BZ with 100% lead status here. Looking to see if that can continue. Trinity trying to bust through the pack. Yeah, helmet cover had, the pivot helmet cover had come off of American Gangster, but she saw that, went back, got it, so all good. Man, BZ now getting recycled back, and that man is because we're over a minute into this jam. There is no lead, and we are still in the first turn.
Things are slow right now. I would say, honestly, at this point, as well, now Rose City going to lose Rosemary's Baby to the Night Owl penalty box, and that creates enough space and time for BZ to get lead.
Oh, however, BZ got a forearm call before getting lead, so lead was still available. Trinity got lead, and then a penalty.
So we'll have 15 seconds of a 2-minute jam here as the jammers release from the box. BZ flying with the arms wide open to come around the outside. Initial pass is done, a second on the clock, the whistle blows, and once again we'll have a wash, no points. Good work by the defense, forcing those 2 penalties on the respective jammers.
Whew. That jam is what you might call a slog. Like through molasses in winter type movement.
I got nothing for that. That's just true. We're gonna have a timeout called here. Rose City letting the timer between jams tick down to about 0 before calling that timeout. First charge timeout for the Axles of Annihilation. They trail it by 38 here, 50-12. 12 minutes on the clock.
Hey, make sure you, if you're in the venue and you're gonna join us for our after party, it is right next door at Bristol's. It's gonna start at 6. DJ is gonna hit at 8. Food available till 9:30. And again, it is right next door. Like literally, you can walk, I don't know, 37 steps and be there.
It's like if you've ever had trouble with directions, or if you skated all weekend and you're like, I'm very tired, somebody could carry you there and not get tired themselves. It's out the door, turn left, walk down, go out there.
That's right, and if you're so tired, even left evades you, walk away from the parking lot. If you're going any direction away from the parking lot, you're going the correct way.
So back to action following the timeout. Rose City hoping for some good things here. And the Evangelical is nearly out to the front, gets some help from a Gaffney. Nice waterfalling defense by Santa Cruz. They recapture here. Got a high block called here, and that's going to go against Coda. But still, Maddie Masochist is locked up in the defensive wall, and that will be lead to Evangelical and Rose City.
Rose City making the most of that timeout and coming out strong on the track here in jam number 11.
Been a while since Rose City got lead. They want to capitalize, but they're not going to have a good chance to do it there as a recycle forced by Krambam. Maddie Masochist into the pack. Only a couple of blockers to maneuver past. Gaffney, the last blocker she will face. Doing very well, using the shoulders and the torso to stay in front, but that will be 4 points there to Maddie Masochist. Evangelical slips past the defense and gets 4 points, calls off the jam, and I believe we will finish all even at 4 apiece. Another wash, this time not scoreless. Rose City back on the board. The first time in a few jams here. They ticked their total up to 16 against 54 for Santa Cruz.
Also, Rose City used that time to empty the penalty box. They did have 2 blockers in the penalty box at one time in jam number 10. Now just 1 from Legacy in the box.
Big hit off the line. And another big hit. Yeti says, I'll not be denied.
Yeti or not, here I come indeed. Katie kind of skipping up on that line. I don't think realized at first that she was outside, but figured it out and got back in.
Allison Thunderland is out, trying to get a short whip off Yeti, and does. And Katie Postman knocked inside. And the jam is called off. As lead did go to Santa Cruz, they called off the jam. Not before 2 points scored by Katie Postma. And so Rose City scoring in the last 2 jams. They now trail it by 36.
I can't even believe it. We're already 20 minutes into this game. It is just rocking and rolling. Moving so quickly. Jackpot wearing the star for Axles of Annihilation, trying for Legacy. Immediately a penalty being picked up by Cinnarin. So Legacy down a blocker. Jackpot was knocked to the inside. Recycles back now, attempting to get out of the pack, but being shut down by Crom Bomb and Tinkerhell.
It's one of those blocks as a blocker you might want to have back as Santa Cruz blocker. Cinnarin was trying to stop the recycle, but accidentally knocked the opposing blocker into her jammer, who was recycling. Still not too much lost here. Jackpot with lead, checking the clock. Trying to, I believe, dip underneath the block there. And actually, blockers do go down, so Jackpot into the clear with 4 points. Rose City trying to get the penalty box empty. They do get 1 blocker back.
Then decide to call it off to save those points as Tryon was just about to score. So a 4-4 jam.
Dead even for you, Steven, once again. But Axis of Annihilation, again, as I've said all weekend, they're putting points on the board, and that's something that you can come back to psychologically as the game moves forward. This is something they can put in their back pocket. If we were able to score, we were able to score this way, let's go back to it again, and maybe we can pull ourselves closer in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Trinity wearing the star for Axel's BZ for Legacy. As the Axel's pivot goes to the penalty box. And BZ is out first, has picked up lead. Oh, BZ with a beautiful apex jump is through. Picks up 4. Trinity with that helmet cover in hand as BZ makes another jump.
Kid Vicious just circulating to the officials, saying that started out of bounds, I believe. But 2 times in a row, BZ able to get that apex jump off and get 8 points out of it. Outside of the liftoff and the touchdown, Not much energy expended, so good strategy by the Santa Cruz Jammer. Going up and then coming back down. Direction of play block here on Freddie Her Fury. And they will take a sojourn in the Night Owl penalty box. Teams sticking with their original starters here. I don't believe, at least not in a while, that we've seen a star pass Benita. Jam comes to a close, and we're going to have an official review. Official review requested by Rose City as soon as the jam ends. Santa Cruz stacks up 12 points, and they are edging closer to the century mark, 5:41 on the clock. So the results of that official review as we kick off our 15th jam of the game. Rose City was requesting a high block be assessed to the Santa Cruz Jammer. The officials determined that the player moved into the path of the jammer, which thereby created the high block. No penalty is assessed, and Rose City loses their first half official review. Meanwhile, in jam number 15, Santa Cruz gets lead, and Maddie Maskis has 4 points. First time we're seeing Ice Hole jamming for Rose City here.
Yeah, Rose City looking to mix things up, see what they can get to work against this very young legacy team. Ice hole out, so pressure is on Maddie Masochist, who will call it off. Picks up, looks like 2 more. So a 6-point jam for Legacy. And you know, going back to that official review, there was definitely a lot of chatter there on the track from the Rose blockers on 2 passes made by the Santa Cruz Jammer. I think probably both times they were thinking something very similar. So, you know, if you got them, use them, right? You never know.
Yeah, there's no, I never understood unless you had a big lead and your team was just iron will stamina just like all day long. You don't take your timeouts with you. You might as well use them. They don't roll over to the next. There's no Roth IRA timeouts. They don't roll over.
100%. Fiscal and derby advice from Spider.
That's the only fiscal advice you'll get from me.
Yeah, a Roth IRA rolling over. Anyway, rolling is Evangelical, who has lead, has 4 points, and is on a second scoring pass. Allison Thunderland out and just through on an initial scoring pass. There is one Rose blocker in the penalty box, and we have seen this strategy a lot in jams that Rose has lead. If they have someone in the penalty box, they tend to wait until the skater is out or almost out, unless you know, the scoring is getting wild from the other side, and then they'll call it off.
Going to be a quick discussion inside. I believe the Santa Cruz coach, I believe that's the Chad, heading in to check something with the officials as well. And he will find his way off the track before that first whistle blows. And that kicks off jam number 17. Trying for Santa Cruz. It's taken inside by Coda. Katie Postma is dumped inside, now pushed to the outside by Tinkerhell. So both jammers having to recycle here in between the Sip Elixirs pivot line and Sublime Jam line. Inside the box, as they say. It's a multiplayer going to lose Tinkerhell to the Night Owl penalty box. And here we've got the jammer reverse, reverse, reverse. Let's see if Santa Cruz just puts in a stall game here, or if Katie Postma is going to try and take the bait. I would say you don't see this often, but I think at a tournament, especially a competitive tournament, you see it maybe once every time. Jammer forcing the recycle all the way back around the track. So both jammers now going to build up speed. Trying's going to get to the pack first. Gets stopped on the outside, now forced to the end. Coda once again going to make a big hit on Tryon. American Gangster finishing that hit as well. Under a minute to go. Once again, Bonita, long jam. No points to show yet for either side.
Yeah, we don't even have a lead yet. You don't see this very often, where you get to this point in a jam and there is no lead.
Postma forced out of bounds by Crombomb. Santa Cruz stretches out in the back, and that is eventually lead.
14 seconds left in the jam, and Tryon is called lead. Let's see if there's time to score any points. Probably not, because the pack is racing around. And there it is. Whistle blows. Jam ends 0-0 with less than a minute in the half.
Yep, the Chad is going to ask here, as a blocker for Rose City was forced out of bounds, but Tryon did not make it into the pack proper. Well, no, now we are going to have an official timeout. Officials are going to discuss that scoring. So we'll have a break in the action. Once again, as always, our official timeout sponsored by Rehab Lab, Tempe and Scottsdale's movement expert, Dr. Ben Leong. With Rehab Lab, achieve lasting pain relief and optimal movement through personalized chiropractic care. Dr. Ben builds his treatment around you and your goals.
Yeah, you can learn more at rehablab.arizona.com.
There was confirmation, short OTO, no points awarded on that last jam. Now we will have a timeout taken here by Santa Cruz. Timeout. Their first charged timeout of the game for Santa Cruz. They hold an 84-30 lead. We're under 30 seconds to play. Thanks, Kit. We see you. Timeout right there. You can tell it's a timeout because the shiny part of Kit's arm, the cybernetic part, is on top, and the human part is on the bottom. That's the timeout.
The cybernetic part, yes.
Yeah. You can't take that many photos without a cybernetic arm.
100%.
Bonita, we got anything interesting going on Twitch?
Lots of fans in the Twitch for Legacy. World Gromination. A hello to Smash. And here we go. Cybernetic arm held high, whistle blown, action starts, and more whistles are blowing. That little bit of confusion back there for Jackpot. Not sure if that whistle was for Jackpot. Just verifying it wasn't. So Jackpot continues that forward motion. BZ wearing the star for Legacy. Rosemary's Baby going to the penalty box. That's a second penalty there. As BZ is out first. BZ has the lead. Jackpot has removed the helmet cover. A beautiful apex jump by BZ and 4 going up. Jackpot almost back at the Sublime Jam line. Still not out of the pack though. Knocked to the outside. Recycles. Yeti there with a tumble down, I believe, and right back up as BZ is through for 4. No time left on the period clock, 25-ish seconds left on the jam clock. Go Ice Hole. Lots of cheers for Ice in the Twitch chat.
Jammer continuing to work here at the top of the pack. BZ finally forced outside by Darko.
Star pass to Habanero Romero, who has picked up a penalty. So we'll start the second half in the penalty box. It will be a power start. Score 94-30. Halftime, a good time to go and chat about what you've seen and what you want to do when you come back out.
What am I gonna do?
You give it everything you've got. And so do we. Why? So you can reach higher. Do more. Be yourself. Trust yourself. On the track, in the park, believe in yourself. Protect yourself. Because no matter who you are, we've got you covered. Certified protection, second to none.
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
You give it everything you've got. And so do we. Why? So you can reach higher. Do more. Be yourself. Trust yourself. On the track, in the park, believe in yourself. Protect yourself. Because no matter who you are, we've got you covered. Certified protection, second to none.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
You give it everything you've got. And so do we. Why? So you can reach higher. Do more. Be yourself. Trust yourself. On the track, in the park, believe in yourself. Protect yourself. Because no matter who you are, we've got you covered. Certified protection, second to none.
Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
You give it everything you've got. And so do we. Why? So you can reach higher. Do more. Be yourself. Trust yourself. On the track, in the park, believe in yourself. Protect yourself. yourself, because no matter who you are, we've got you covered. Certified protection, second to none.
Let's get back to this party for the conclusion of Axles of Annihilation against the Santa Cruz Derby Groms Legacy. I'm Cakes, and I am joined with Loquita Bonita and Jumping Spider. But here are some first half stats to let you know how the first half went. The star was passed only twice on the Axles of Annihilation side, none for the Legacy. So a little bit of strategy there. No, except one lead change. It's been all Groms all day. Lead Gemmer has been awarded 11 times for the Groms as opposed to Axles for 6. The multi-point jams just keep coming, 7 total that whole first half for the Legacy, 2 for Axles. And scoreless jams, probably one of the biggest things of the game. 11 scoreless jams for the Axles of Annihilation compared to the 5 for the Groms. The power plays were pretty even mentioned, 3 to 4. So aside from that, just maybe a little penalty trouble. I'm going to kick it off to Jumping Spider and Bonita to see what else we can talk about.
All right, everybody, I know everyone's milling around, coming back from the restroom, coming back from the concession stand, but this is going to be a barn burner to finish. And once again, it's championship time at Cactus Cup 2025. Make some noise!
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Let us know.
Make some more noise!
Like, yo, get the food out your mouth and make some noise.
That was cold.
Sorry.
There's somebody
Not
out there is
sorry.
eating a cracker and then got told, it's like, yo, swallow it completely, quickly, now, right now.
Exactly. Or just spit it out while you're making noise.
Don't spit crackers on the floor. Don't do that. Don't do that. We are not cleaning. Somebody else is cleaning. Don't make their job hard.
Spider, I'm checking out these penalties from the first half, and it's something that is standing out to me is that the team penalty count for the Axles of Annihilation is 20 versus Legacy's 13. Also, if we look at jammer penalties, the Axles have 5 and Legacy has 2.
Yeah, and honestly, 13 penalties isn't ideal either, because that would put you at 26 for the game if things continue. But as we see, Alice and Thunderland getting lead, Santa Cruz has been able to limit the impact of those penalties.
Yeah, this is a power start. Habanero Romero going to the penalty box as a jammer at the end of the first half.
Big push by the Axles of Annihilation jammer Brute, showing off her strength, forcing the jammer to recycle.
Night Owl penalty box is empty. All the action at the Sublime Jam line.
Alice and Thunderland rubs off one hit, can't quite get around Coda. And same thing for Habanero Romero, tried to remain in bounds off of a hit. But both jammers now having to recycle. Pack broken up momentarily by Mad for Gravy. Should have had Mad for Gravy out with us last night. We had poutine. It was decent. It would probably have been better had she been there.
100%. Everything's better with Mad for Gravy. Habanero Romero getting knocked to the outside by Gravy. Recycles back past that Sublime Jam line. Back on the track. Excellent job, though, here by Kid Vicious. And the Axles blockers to contain Alice in Thunderland. Also known as Thundy. Thundy, not Alice, Thundy, which
Thundy
is
from down under.
awesome.
Santa Cruz kicks off our second half with 4 points. They inch closer to that century mark. 98-30 is their lead. Under 28 minutes to play. Almost the full time on that one, Bonita.
Yeah, and by choice. I see Ice Hole there with the star for the Axles of Annihilation.
Pack moving quickly here for Tryon. Coming around the block, going to get a definitive whip from Thunder Breeze. But things slows down. Axles of Annihilation swallowing Tryon up and now forcing her back into the very rearmost echelons of the pack.
You don't often get an echelon in Derby, so thank you for that, Spider.
It's just, it's just a fancier way of saying rankings or levels.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Icehurt pushing forward in the upper echelon of the pack.
You like it, right? See?
I
Right?
do like it.
It's like you ate a thesaurus.
Right, I'm tucking that away. So now the pack all kind of jammed up together. Penalty being picked up by Axles of Annihilation skater Freddie Her Fury. Still no lead.
There's a couple hip fakes there for Tryon. Trying to get the Axis of Annihilation blockers off of their spots. And we'll have an opportunity here for Santa Cruz, a power jam, and that is lead for Tryon. Under 40 seconds to go.
And Tryon calls it off. I mean, that was just some work, right? So why not call it off, freeze the jammer in the penalty box, and start again with some fresh legs on the track?
Exactly, I like it. A lot of work. Come back on the bench, get a rest, come back fresh. I know that we have, defined pivots and blockers, but the way Rosemary's Baby got that cap and then tossed it.
Yeah, right.
Tossed it to Habanero Romero, like, no, I don't want that. Don't give me that.
I was thinking the same thing. That was awesome. Beezy out very quickly, picks up lead. Very unlike the last jam that took forever for a lead to be designated. And through for 4.
Yeah, BZ muscling through the middle of that triangle that formed up. Now Darko working with Habanero and Freddie Her Fury. They're out of the box. Oh, BZ was trying to tiptoe, stay in bounds, keep that weight thrown forward. Could not quite do it. Power jam comes to a close.
Ice Hole pushing forward there at the Sip Elixirs pivot line. An excellent job by the Legacy blockers.
Yep. Ice getting a good push here. Beans has to pivot. And so the high block actually going to be called on Ice Hole. So once again, a power jam opportunity. BZ asking for the call off. And then we'll get it. Santa Cruz tallying 4 more points, 8 total for Groms. 106.30 is the score. 24:03 left in the game.
Gonna start this jam with 2 blockers and the jammer from Axles of Annihilation sitting in that Night Owl penalty box. So this is a big advantage to Santa Cruz to start this jam. Maddie Masochist with the star. Man, came up a very determined Coda. Coda now the only purple skater on the track.
And they knew it. The blockers came around and they looked at everybody like, oh, come on, man. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate the work. That was tough. We appreciate that. You do what you can do. You do what you can do.
And make it look good. So once we are going to start this jam with one purple skater on the track, Rosemary's Baby. Now 3 of Axel's skaters are standing in the penalty box, so Rosemary's Baby shouldn't be out there alone for too long, but long enough for Thundy to get out with a quickness. Now things are getting a little bit mixed up with more axles on the track. So some nice blocking there with Rosemary's Baby and Darko. Freddie Her Fury bridging out. Ice Hole looking to get through, and now Brute has returned from the penalty box. Brute the pivot. Ice Hole, go ahead.
Asking for some assistance there. As Alice in Thunderland comes back around, tried to duck underneath that middle section in the blockers, that link. Always tell jammers, attack the link, not just because it's the weakest part of the triangle, but in an ideal case, you draw a quick multiplayer call. And so blockers have become very adept at dropping those arms and using just the shoulders and the side of the body to defend.
Absolutely. Ice Hole put on that pressure, so jam is called off. That looks like all 4 on that last pass. So an 8-point jam for Legacy. Timeout being called by Axles of Annihilation. Add some sparkle with grit to your game. Derby Girl Designs creates handcrafted jewelry and unique gifts using rust-resistant stainless steel bearings, genuine gemstones, crystals, and CZ stones. Perfect for derby lovers on and off the track. Visit derbygirldesigns.com and save 15% with coupon code Cactus Cup. Also, some Derby Girl Designs jewelry is part of the raffle, so make sure you are getting in on that online raffle. Tickets purchased online. There's QR code in the venue, but also you can find it on the Arizona Roller Derby socials. So you do not need to be present to win. Those winners will be drawn tomorrow.
And Menina, I'm glad you mentioned that. If you took any photographs this weekend, if you had a great time, anything you want to say, anything you want to do, anything that you experienced this weekend, please make sure to follow Arizona Roller Derby on their socials, Instagram especially. Post those photos, post those memories in anticipation of next year when we will have our 2026th iteration of Cactus Cup right back here in Phoenix.
Whistle blows. Tryon wearing the star for Legacy. Trinity for Axles of Annihilation. Trinity moving very quickly from the outside to the inside, just continuing to move those feet to push forward, to find some space, getting some offensive assistance in there from Gaffney. Gaffney also did a little blocking there on Tryon. Now everybody's recycling now. Recycling now.
You can hear the wheels on the crowd just recycling, rewind.
Be kind, rewind. Tryon is lead. Now on a scoring pass, looking to find some space on that outside lane, but getting shut down by Coda. Brute with the star at the top of the pack, so we have had a star pass. Brute getting some offensive assistance. I believe that's Gaffney again. Gaffney just mixing it up this jam. Gaffney over here, Gaffney over there. Yeti, massive stop to Brute. Knocks Brute to the inside.
There was a forearm call, didn't see who it was on. I know that then Thunder Breeze did get a forearm penalty for Santa Cruz. Both jammers remain on the track. 4 points to Tryon and Santa Cruz. And Grom's Legacy salting this one away, heading towards a title here at our tournament. 122-30 our score, under 20 minutes to go.
Looks like an official timeout being called. Our official timeout sponsor, Rehab Lab. Find out more at rehablab.arizona.com. If you love roller skating, you know that magic happens when Roller Derby Park and roller skaters of all disciplines get together. Join us at RollerCon 2025, July 9 through 13 at the Expo Center in Las Vegas. Enter to win a RollerCon MVP pass and the Cactus Cup online raffle.
That official timeout coming to a close. Yet or not for Santa Cruz heading to the night out penalty boxes. That forearm was called on them. So Santa Cruz will be down a couple of blockers as we start the second half jam number 7. And we started with a bang, evangelical lead jammer for Rose City.
And Rose City blockers shutting down BZ, just responding to every move BZ makes. Evangelical 4 up, coming back for a second scoring pass. Slides through on the inside lane, and picks up all 4. BZ now out. Man, Zors is looking a little slick. It is it.
Got a spill or two there.
And jam ends. An 8-0 jam in favor of Axles of Annihilation.
Good jam for the purple squad. They come off that 30-point marker, and they're going to try and do something with it here. Definitely not the easiest. Against Maddie Masochister's had a good game, but Jackpot has some room to roam. Maddie Masochist looking to juke around the last blocker for the Axis of Annihilation, going to dump them in. Now it's Gaffney up top, slowing things down. Gaffney dropped to the inside, and with a bang, a bing, and a boom, Maddie Masochist is lead jammer. Jackpot had just a bit of daylight, but Yeti or not came charging out of the pack to slow her down. And now the star will be passed. Well, the star will not be passed here. Brute heading back to the pack. It's the second time Axis of Annihilation has had to retreat and return that star. So it will be held onto by Jackpot with the stash and a dash through. Santa Cruz does call off the jam with 3 in the pocket.
The old stash and dash. Classic move. Oh, sometimes I just crack myself up.
They call it something different at the corner store by my house. They call it theft. They call it stashing and dashing. They call that stealing.
All right, Speed Demon wearing the star for Legacy. Trinity for Axles of Annihilation. Trinity pushing forward at the front of the pack, getting some assistance there from Habanero Romero.
Things slow down, and yeah, typically that does mean there's a multiplayer in play. So Speed Demon, 1 less blocker to work against. Rosemary's Baby along with Darko closing things down. Now Habanero Romero going to play some defense, force Speed Demon out to the infield. And the Rose City defense resets. Beans checking in with the jammer, asking what help they need. Going to force Darko up, who throws 1 shoulder, 2 shoulders, 3 shoulders. Speed Demon leveling in, staying in bounds. Now push towards the outside. Rosemary's Baby has a skate in. Skate out, now skate in. And the battle continues between Rosemary's Baby. They're hooked together like Connects pieces. And now Rosemary's Baby gonna head to the penalty box. Speed Demon gets out for lead, calls off the jam. There was a lot of work to be done there for sure.
Oof, a lot of work. So 0-0 jam there for jam number 9.
It's not looking like, the barrel of, the barrel of monkeys. Everybody was like hooked up together, like one arm over the top, one arm underneath. daisy chain, if you will.
Indeed. Evangelical with the star for Axles, Allison Thunderland for Legacy. And Thundy going to the outside, finds just enough space to get through for lead. Evangelical had removed the helmet cover, now out of the pack and puts it back on. And Thundy's calling it off. 4 points on that jam for Legacy.
I want to thank Sisu Mouth Guards, engineered for elite athletes. Sisu Mouth Guards offer unmatched protection and comfort with innovative features that keep you focused on your game. Get the best in mouth guard protection, Sisu Mouth Guards. Did we ever get that mouth guard picked up?
No, it's still here.
Somebody get your mouth guard, please.
It's a white mouth guard if you have a white mouth guard. I think that's the most common color, though.
We've been treating it really well. It's wrapped up in a paper towel.
That's right. We haven't taken it out. Nobody put it in their mouth to try it on or anything. Ice hole with a penalty. That means we have a power jam. Power jam. Power jam for trying.
It's not they're trying with Darko right in the way. There's the forearm call against Darko. Not trying. Knocked down by the pivot. Here as the pack broke for just a moment. Now comes back together. Trying only 3 blockers to work against. Has the power jam opportunity here. Says no dipping and dodging. Let's get right into it. Coming into the middle of that triangle. It's a lot going on in this game, Benita. I like it, honestly. It's a physical game, and every team that played this weekend and stayed up in that bracket is going to be that much more prepared for regional playoffs and championships when we get there next year. This has been a fantastic tournament for preparing yourself and your team for high levels of play.
Absolutely, measuring where you are against high-level playing teams from different regions, teams that you may not see a lot. In fact, the only 2 teams that will really see each other, well, there's a couple, I guess, right? So Windy and Minnesota are going to be in the same, and Santa Cruz and Arizona are in the same region. Rockin' City, though, they are in the South region.
Is North America South?
Yeah. North America South for
Does that include
Rockin' City.
Mexico? Or teams in Mexico? Or is
don't
that
think so.
Southwest?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, actually, North America West is going to be the teams in Mexico. Like
Okay.
Baja is part of North America West.
That new format, I know it's not really new anymore, but that's going to make things so interesting in those brackets. And hopefully, I think it's going to be interesting because, you know, there's things that we can't control outside of our control. But if you can get every team into regionals that places and wins, that has a chance to go, it's going to be a fun championships.
For sure.
So Rose City requested an official review after the end of that jam. They were asking for a cut track call on the Santa Cruz jammer, believing that they had cut the pivot that blocked them out of bounds. The officials determined that the pivot went out of bounds for Santa after taking that block, so it was a no-earned pass rather than a cut. The call stands, and Rose City loses their official review. They do have lead jammer here, though. Trinity lead for Rose City, trying to prove that She gets through into the pack, takes a couple of blocks, bounces off, and gets 3 points. So Trinity, Weave Nation certified, gets 3 points for Rose City. Weave Nation certified.
Bam.
Shout out to all my RDC World fans. If you know, you know.
Whistle blows, and Maddie Massicus with the star for Legacy, but it's Evangelical who is out first, does have lead. Maddie Massicus out of the pack though, so pressure is on. Skating very quickly, both these jammers as well as the packs. Packs now back at the Sublime Jam line. And it's just a race. So Eve says, I'm over it, and calls it off.
Yeah, Santa Cruz, it was like a switch flipped as soon as they checked, saw the lead. They were off to the races, got out front. Rose City tried to slow things down, but as soon as they did, Santa Cruz picked up a bit of speed, and it's that balancing act dance. Who are the officials determining who sets the pack pace? Santa Cruz using it to their advantage perfectly there.
So jam number 14 here in the second half is underway. That is Alice in Thunderland with the star for Legacy, and Brute for Axles of Annihilation. And it's Brute with that strength busting through the pack and his lead.
3 jams in a row for Axles of Annihilation getting lead now. Their best stretch in quite some time.
Thundy at the back of the pack, trying to make some progress, but locked down there by a tripod. That looks like Gaffney, along with American Gangster. American Gangster going to the penalty box. Kid Vicious also in on that blocking. The containment of Thundy. Some nice offense coming in from Thunder Breeze, who also goes by Brisa.
Multiplayer block penalty going on Dolly Darko here. And the pack was a bit too wide at the back. And that's to the advantage of our jammer for Rose City, streaking up the inside. Gonna try and give a knock to Alice in Thunderland. Did not want to risk cutting the track. And so Brute gets some points, calls off the jam, ends out front. We haven't talked about the floor since Friday, but we've had some thrills, chills, and spills from all over the place this weekend.
We certainly have. This is a very smooth surface if you're not accustomed to playing on polished concrete. It can be an adjustment.
You know, honestly, I think the difference is, though, this facility is it's not new, but you can tell it's so well maintained. No cracks, no sinkholes, no divots. You have to have the right equipment, but it's a great surface to play on.
Absolutely. And that's Trinity, who is out first for Axles of Annihilation. Trying with the star for Santa Cruz Derby Grum's Legacy. Still at that Sip Elixirs pivot line. Some really nice blocking there from Freddie Her Fury there as the invert in that tripod. Man, and coming in hot was Cinnarron, busting things up and trying now out of the pack. Trinity with 4, so once again the pack is moving quickly into the turns. And Trinity calls it off.
4 leads in a row for Axles of Annihilation, something to hang their hat on here as they get closer to the half-century mark. 4 points in the jam.
Just over 6 minutes left in the game. the championship game here at Cactus Cup 2025. Whistle blows. Evangelical with the star for Axles of Annihilation. BZ for Legacy. Evangelical was going from the inside to the outside, gets knocked down and a little bit out. Yep, it is a cut track call. So that sets up a power jam. Power jam. Power jam for BZ.
And Eve went down to the outside. The skate swung out of bounds and she got back in as skaters who were ahead of her came back and reset. So that breaks the string of 4 leads in a row for Axles of Annihilation. Nice job by Coda to stop that forward momentum by BZ. About 5 minutes to play here in our championship game. Santa Cruz holding a comfortable lead, but trying to get the momentum, trying to get the edge back, and BZ will have something to do with that. Lead jammer BZ, Santa Cruz Derby Grom's Legacy.
Evangelical back on the track, getting knocked to the inside by Yeti. Evangelical running right into Yeti and Ragin. Coda with the recycle. So BZ gonna start again. 15 seconds left in the jam. Under 4.5 in the game. And jam ends. Wow. 3 points on an essentially 2-minute jam. 3 points.
Tough defense. I mean, it's obviously both ways, but such tough defense. Not allowing Santa Cruz to pick up a multi-scoring run, multi-pass scoring run.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole game has been a battle, so both teams, blockers and jammers, still able to dig really deep and offer all that they have there on the track in the final 4 minutes of this game. Nobody's given up. Everybody's in it as Maddie gets out first for lead.
That's the important thing, Benita. Nobody looks like they're gassed. It's just as physical, just as hard fought as jam number 1.
100% a testament to all the practice time, both at team practices, and we all know if you truly want to be successful, you got to put in that work outside of team practice. And these two teams are really showing that. Kid Vicious wearing the star for Axles of Annihilation. First time this game we've seen Kid Vicious with the star in this game.
Pack is back now, and the blockers out front had to work their way back. That's going to be 4 points for Maddie Masochist. Tries to slip inside, does so. That's 4 points once again for Maddie Masochist. Darko with the hit that knocked her down, but she stayed in bounds, came upright, had 4 points in the books.
Penalty to Kid Vicious after the star pass, Habanero Romero.
Things come to a close. Kid Vicious stifled behind the wall of white. And Santa Cruz gets the W in that jam, 11-0. About a minute and a half to play here. Santa Cruz 147 over Rose City's 49 points. You see Trinity. Trinity having a good, successful second half here. But before that, we'll have an official timeout. You know what it is. Our official timeout sponsored by Rehab Lab. Dr. Ben Leong with Rehab Lab can help you achieve lasting pain relief and optimal movement through personalized chiropractic care. Dr. Ben builds his treatment around you and your goals. I also want to thank our event sponsor for this weekend, Derby Girl Designs.
That's right. You can check them out on the Cactus Cup raffle. Big shout out also to our sponsors, our league and travel team sponsors, 888 and 187 Killer Pads. Thundy with the star for Santa Cruz is through and has lead. About a minute left here in the game, and Trinity picking up a penalty. This is a power jam. A rollerderbycoaching.com power jam. Pile up here at the Sip Elixirs pivot line and looked a little and jam ends in an official timeout.
Kid Vicious went down there and had to stay down, so the jam will come to a conclusion here. Official's going to talk some things over. But there was a big pile up right at the back of the jam, and you saw there were legs underneath bodies, and always a dangerous situation that you can't easily extricate yourself out of, and you look to the officials for assistance.
Absolutely. And there it is, whistle sounds. Trying with the star for legacy, Evangelical for Axles of Annihilation. Evangelical pushing forward, is out first, picks up lead. Trying recycled back. So still on an initial pass, as Evangelical is looking to pick up some points, trying getting a cut track call. So this is a power jam. Power jam. Power jam.
Few people heading to the Night Owl penalty box here, but Evangelical by her lonesome in terms of other people wearing star caps. Block comes in from Tinker Hell. Help going to come here in the form of Katie Postma, at least to shore up the defense here. Under a minute to play. You know what will be our final jam.
Ooh. Trying an apex jump. Unsuccessful though, so recycles back.
I got that. That was good. That was good.
Thank you. Trying though through, picks up some points, and whistles blow, game ends. We have an unofficial score, 53 to 155 in favor of Legacy. And that's our final score. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us this weekend. Stick around. We do have some MVPs to award, as well as the beautiful trophies for first, second, and third place in the bracketed play. So we will be right back with that. Thank you again. I am Loquita Bonita, joined by
Jumping Spider
and Cakes. Thanks so much.
give it everything you've got. And so do we. Why? So you can reach higher, do more. Be yourself. Trust yourself. On the track, in the park, believe in yourself. Protect yourself, because no matter who you are, we've got you covered. Certified protection, second to none.